Hi everyone, it is Carlin here once again, and today I'm doing a little bit of a different video. I've never done one of these before, and I don't really want to call it a review, but I guess that's kind of what I'm doing. I bought, I've talked about this before, I've mentioned it lots of times. I am in Canada, and where I live, I am a 5-hour drive to the closest pottery supply store. And again, if you know anything about pottery, clay is very expensive to ship because it's so heavy. So I have to kind of strategically buy my clay, either when somebody is coming from where I get it from, or I'm going to the city, anything like that. So the last time I did a clay order, I did buy myself Plainsman Wheat. Now, wheat has been out, it's been out for a little bit, but I want to say like 4 or 5 months, not too long. So it's pretty new clay. Apparently it is just like 340, but with a little less of a speckle. And if you've ever used 340, it doesn't have like a prominent speckle. If you were to look at it without glaze on top, you don't see a speckle. But if you put certain glazes on top of it, say like soft white or pearl white, you can see that there is a little bit of a speckle in it. So when I saw that, I was like, well, I kind of want to have even more of a separate clay, because I've mentioned this before also that I use 340 and 340S by Plainsman. And so I thought, well, if this is like 340 but with less of a speckle, it may give me that even cleaner look that I'm looking for. So I bought 2 boxes of it because I thought, well, if I like it, it's winter when I bought it, so I needed to have it as a stock up. It's also evening when I'm filming this, so the lighting's not the greatest, but it is what we got. So I'm just going to throw a couple things, and my plan for this is basically throw a bit, put it in the bisque, see what it looks like when it comes out of the bisque, glaze it, and then see what the final result looks like. And yeah, then I'll let you know what I think of Plainsman Wheat. So yeah, let's get throwing. All right, so this may not be the greatest angle ever, but I thought I'd switch it up a little bit because I haven't done one like this. So I did not film wedging. I am terribly slow at wedging, so I did not think that you wanted to watch that. But right off the bat, I can feel it's definitely softer than 340, and it's a little bit stickier. Like sometimes 340 can be sticky, but this is definitely stickier. It feels a little bit more plastic, which is one of the characteristics of it. And I will put up over here maybe what Plainsman, like their kind of like their brochure on what all their clays do and like the shrinkage rates and stuff. And it's pretty similar to 340. So I'm assuming I'm gonna like it, but we shall see. So we're just gonna throw a couple like straight-sided cylinder mugs, and I'm using 1.2 pounds of clay. So nothing too crazy. And hopefully I can center today. I haven't been able to center lately. This feels so nice and soft. If you have used 340, you'll know what I mean when I say that you can feel those little bits. You can definitely feel them when you're throwing. This one has nothing. This one is smooth like butter. Oh goodness, is it ever? So like I said, I'm just throwing some really simple straight-sided mugs. Just to get a good feel of it before I do anything else. But This is beautiful. This literally feels like butter, which may be a problem because I have a feeling I am used to things not feeling this nice and smooth. Yeah, like I definitely am used to having a grittier clay. So I don't know that it's gonna like as much water as I throw with, but wow, that is so smooth. Like it literally just feels like butter. It feels like butter on the, just feels beautiful. And I'm not sponsored. I bought this on my own. That is so smooth. I can't even believe it. So I am finding that because it's so smooth, it's not like flaring out, but like because I'm used to it being so much grittier that it's flaring out a bit, but that's a me thing, not a clay thing. So I'm just gonna go in with my rib. I don't know about you, but my rib is totally how I figure out the height of my pieces. Well, I can honestly say so far, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful clay. So I did decide to throw a few different things to kind of get a good feel of this clay. I threw a new mug shape for me. I kind of stumbled upon it. And so I thought, well, this clay's so much softer than what I'm used to. I may as well try it with this mug shape. And I won't lie, it was a little bit hard to keep this shape on center while with this clay. And I think part of it is that it's just so soft that I didn't have enough practice myself, like manipulating it kind of, I guess. And also I think maybe if I just adjust how I throw it, I adjust how I manipulate the shape, then I might have an easier time with it. But that's, I think, probably more a practice type of a thing rather than a like a con of this clay. And speaking of cons, I would probably say that the biggest con I found with this clay is that with it being so soft and plasticky, I I found it that I got really caught up in all of the slip that it created. And normally, like I throw with a lot of water, which is fine if you have a clay that can hold it and that can work with it. This clay, I definitely found it's not a fan of one, being overworked, or two, having too much water. I was constantly cleaning up my hands, which isn't a huge deal. It's probably more so something that I just need to learn to throw differently with this clay, which definitely can, but I just need more time to practice with it. But so far, that's pretty much the only real con that I've found with it, is this, that with it being so soft and plasticky and stuff like that, it just it creates so much slip that I really, that's what I had a hard time with. But as for texture, it's beautiful. As for pulling walls, it's really awesome. I did, you do, or I had to really pay attention to my consistency while I was pulling my walls, because like I said, I'm really used to clay that has a little bit of grit, and this just is so smooth that you just have to really pay attention to your wall thicknesses and your consistency. But yeah, it worked really great when I was throwing those little bowls. I did decide to do a little bud vase, and I probably am going to end up doing a little bit of like sculpture type things on the mugs. I'm not sure if I'll film that or not, but you will definitely see it, it like through the bisque and through the process and stuff like that. But I, yeah, I don't know. I really want to put this clay kind of to the test, because, like I said, I'm looking for a clay that is a little bit cleaner than 340, but still has that buff look to it, because I don't really want a white stoneware. Um, I just want, yeah, something just a little bit smoother. So I'm really hoping that this one works out. But so far, throwing it has been wonderful. There definitely is a learning curve, but there is with everything. And like I said, the biggest thing for me will probably be the fact that I need to work on the amount of water that I throw with, which might be hard because I like my water. But learning is part of the whole process, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, after this is pretty much what I did, just mugs and bowls and a couple little things. And then we jumped right into trimming. And trimming, well, I shouldn't say jumped right into it. I did it the next day. Trimming this clay, pretty straightforward. There was nothing crazy. It trimmed well. It was nice and smooth. I didn't throw perfect, so my pieces aren't actually perfect. But trimming wise, it was totally fine. It was just like trimming anything else. And because it doesn't have a lot of grit, it was really smooth. So that's about all there really is to say about trimming. Because, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's nice and smooth. It burnished well. It trimmed well. My piece is not perfectly straight on the wheel, so please don't judge that part of it. But it did end up trimming really well, and I was really happy with it, the end result. So anyway, I will bring you back when it's time to throw these in the bisque, and I will show you everything that I have made with this wheat clay before it goes in the bisque, and then we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. So I won't lie, I totally forgot to show you everything that I made. The week that I did this, there was so much going on that I totally forgot. But basically, there was nothing too crazy about the bisque. It looks exactly like 340 and 340S, because if you've used either of those, you know that they don't really look much different at the bisque stage. They do at the greenware stage, but not at the bisque stage. And surprisingly enough, the greenware for this wheat clay looks identical to 340S, which doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, long story short, I made a few different things and I experimented a few different ways with this clay. I, like you see in this clip, I did sgraffito on a few mugs, and I even did some sculpture with it. So there is a mug that you will see at the end when I show you everything that has come out of the kiln for the final fire. But I did that with it. And then I just did the regular like little mini bowls, mugs, stuff like that. And yeah, so I didn't do anything too crazy, but I did do a few things. And like I said, I did do sgraffito, and I do have a video made on it, but I'm not entirely sure if you guys want to see how I did that or not. So if you do, drop it down in the comments, and I can definitely share that with you. And yeah, if you have any questions, also drop those down in the comments. But as for glazing, which is what I'm doing here, it glazed just like everything else. There was nothing crazy about it. Yeah, like I said in the trimming part, it burnished really well. So the glaze went on really nice and smooth. So there's nothing really too crazy to report on that front. But yeah, so far this clay it's pretty good. Like, I mean, it's very similar to 340. So again, like I've said, it's kind of like a review, but not really a review, because I do know that it is going to be so similar to 340, which so many of us are very familiar with. But yeah, so far it's so good. So anyway, I will throw these in the glaze fire, and you will see everything that I made right shortly when it's finished in the glaze fire. All right. So our wheat clay has come out of the kiln. Now, when I purchased this clay, I purchased it thinking that, knowing it would be similar to 340, but having less of a speckle is kind of what they explained it to be. So like if you've seen 340, one moment, let me go get some 340 and I will do a comparison for you because that was why I bought this. So hold on. All right. So like I said, when I bought wheat, it was in thinking that I'd have the buff look, so like the beigey look of the clay, but less of the speckle that comes with 340. Now 340S definitely has a speckle, like that's 340S. So you can tell it has a speckle in the clay. 340 and wheat are supposed to be like a buff clay with very little of anything. But anyway, so this mug right here was made on 340. So up here, you can see that there's those little speckles that you can see in the clay. And at the bottom, you can see that, like, you can kind of see something. It kind of looks like sand, basically. Well, this vase I did, and it was done in 340. Or, sorry, it was done in wheat. And as you can see, there's some speckle in there. Like, just as much as I would expect from 340. And this one is wheat. And even the bottom, it looks very similar. When you put these two together, I mean, sorry, there is a little bit of a difference, but I mean, it's not enough for me to say like, wow, wheat is so much of a different color. It's not. And I wasn't expecting that because their description was basically 340, but with less speckle. And I'm going to have to disagree with that. I'm going to have to disagree with the less speckle, because that's got a speckle. Which is fine. I'm not upset about it because I don't mind 340 at all, but I was expecting less. Now, another thing is, so like this mug that I did a few different things with wheat. I didn't film all of it, but I did do a few different things. So I did do sgraffito on it, but you can see like there's some speckles. My camera doesn't want to focus today. There is some speckles in it, like you can still see them. And yeah, like you can see them on the inside too. It's harder to see on the inside, but you can. But yeah, and like the bottom, there's some kiln wash on there. I'll sand it off. But yeah, the bottom, you can still see that it looks like sand with all those different colors. I did do some little test dishes. Now, the one thing I will say about this, I'm not disappointed in this clay. I think this clay is a beautiful clay. But their description of, like I said, with less of a speckle, I don't believe that. I just don't. But when you put the glaze on it, it is very smooth. I will give it that. So maybe that's what they mean, that maybe that's less of what they mean. I'm not sure, but like, look at that one. Look how perfect that is. And it's nice and smooth. And maybe it's the glazes I used, but yeah, it's the glaze applies really nicely. And it does burnish really nicely and stuff like that. So maybe that's where they're meaning like less of the speckle. Because when you are throwing it, I mentioned this when in the throwing part of this video, that it was very smooth and very nice to throw with. Trimming is also really nice. So maybe that's where it comes into play, because 340, sometimes you can feel the little grits in 340. Not like you can in 340S. You can't really, like, it's not harsh by any means, but you can feel it. But you can't feel anything in the wheat clay. It's very soft. It's very plasticky. And yeah. So maybe, yeah. Maybe that's what they mean, is that the final result is less gritty. I don't know if that's the right word I'm using, but anyway. But yeah, I don't know if this was like a great review video, but it definitely gave me some good feedback even for myself. Like, throwing with it and using it, perfect. I did do some sculpting with it as well. And I do have a full kiln unload with all of these pieces that I sculpted. So I did sculpt with it, and it was very nice to work with in that regard. Like, yeah. But like you can see in the white, compared to this one, which is 340, and this one is wheat, I wouldn't say that there's any difference in that myself, but I'm not upset about it. Anyway, I think I'm a little disappointed maybe, because I was looking for maybe that smoother beigey look, but I'm not upset about it. Anyway, I don't know that this was the greatest review video ever. But if you've been on the fence about wheat, now you know what it looks like. And you know that it looks exactly like 340, in my opinion. And also, what kind of blows my mind is, because it's so similar to 340, the greenware looks nothing like 340. 340 greenware is a very light, I don't have any at the moment, but it's a very light gray. 340S is a dark gray. And wheat, which is pretty much identical to 340, looks just like 340S. So they're very hard to tell apart. And in bisqueware, 340S, 340, and wheat don't look anything at all alike. They all look the same. Or I guess I said that wrong. I'm not sure, but they look identical. So they are totally hard to tell apart, which that I'm used to. But in greenware stage, it looks like 340S, which doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, yeah. Otherwise, like I said, I don't know that this was the greatest review video, but throwing it is great. Building with it, wonderful. Trimming, great. The look, just like 340, in my opinion. So if you already use 340, but you don't like the feel of 340, but you like the look of 340, wheat is a perfect option. Because like I mentioned, 340, you can feel those little gritty things. Wheat, you feel nothing. Wheat, it's beautiful to throw with. It's beautiful to use. Yeah. 340, like I said, you can feel those little grits. So if you don't like throwing with 340, you may like throwing with wheat. But yeah, otherwise, it's kind of like 340, just with a nice, fun name. Sorry, Plainsman. And I know that I didn't really go totally out of the box with a new clay. I do have 332 back here, and I threw a little bit of it, and I hate it. I should have bought 332 without the grog, because my brain wasn't even thinking, but yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with that. Anyway, make more kiln cookies, I guess. Anyway, if you have any questions about Plainsman wheat clay, leave them down in the description below, and I will answer them the best I can. Otherwise, I don't think it's a bad clay. I just think it's no different than 340. But yeah, if you have other clays that you'd like me to try, leave them down in the comments below. I'm always looking for something different. I'm always looking for something different to do. Let's be honest. I do think that I did find my thing. I think I found my thing. And it is in a kiln unload. Whether that will be before this or after this, I'm not sure. It was part of this, but I'm not showing you that. Anyway, but yeah, I'm always interested in trying something new. So if there is a clay that you've never tried, and if I can get it, because I can't always get a whole bunch of things, leave them down in the comments and I may do another clay review. We will see. But yeah, otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye everyone.